We are getting close to the launch and it is time to get your client ready for optimal, non-sex having gamer performance, and I am gonna share with you all the add-ons I will personally use to achieve that goal. I mean, I would rather have women, but I made an oath when I became a YouTuber, and by God, I will stand by it, wench! First of all, we're gonna use Questy. This is a lifesaver. This add-on puts every quest in the map so you don't have to waste your time reading quests or whatever. It is so good. It is more convenient than the actual quest markers that we got in Rato the Lich King. It is better. You can even see future quests where you're gonna pick them up and everything. It's a simple add-on. You can't really go wrong with it. It's going straight in. Next, we are gonna go for my favorite add-on in all of World of Warcraft. And no, I am not kidding. This is gonna be the LBUI add-on. LBUI is a complete overhaul of the game's UI. It is basically every single dem add-on that already exists into one. Minimalistic unit frames that are very easy to read. You can customize pretty much anything. You can basically move anything. You know that add-on is basically included into this. You can move whatever you want. The menu, everything, even things that you didn't know you could move. You can also get complete customizable bar setups like bongos. You can make those fancy big buttons for your stuff. Your bags are gonna get merged into a single bag like bag none. And you are also getting better nameplates that they are a godsend when you're tanking AoE pools. On top of a bunch of tiny features like a completely reward chat, you can click links on it now. There is timestamps, everything you can imagine. You can change your settings panel completely if you want to. You can also change your menu bar, you can get rid of it, you can move it. You also get a new minimap. It is one of the best add-ons in the game. And the best of it all, you can save a profile and you can export it and you can share your settings to everybody else. So yes, it takes a while to set up LBUI, but once you do it, you put it on a text file and you can take it to whatever you want to do. You can even send it to your friends so they don't have to set up their own stuff. I can hardly overstate how vital LBUI is. As a tank, having a simple UI that is very easy to read is super important. Now we are gonna talk about an add-on that I like very much, and that is Cartographer. Cartographer is simply the explored map in your map. It just shows you the whole map on its own. It's that simple. Like, you are not gonna wonder where the hole in your map is gonna be from. You don't have to explore the whole map again. It's just convenient, that's it. Next is gonna be Gathermate 2. Now this is not just a gathering add-on, okay? Gathermate 2 is sci-fi technology. It communicates with all your other guildies and it tells you where they are farming, and it can get a live list of where all the nodes are gonna spawn. You have a comprehensive, in-detail map of where every node is gonna be, every herb, every mineral, whatever. Not only that, it also tells you where chests are gonna spawn and a bunch of other cool stuff like rare mobs. You can even get an optional function that is gonna draw every route you should do to get the optimal farming per hour. This add-on is another godsend right here. This is Details, okay? If you played in the 1.12 original client like I have, you will not take for granted having a reliable, good meter. These things used to suck. Now we get a fully functional multimeter. You can measure every sort of bizarre statistics like damage per damage taken, damage per second, whatever you wanna think of, this thing can measure. Let me give you a caveat here, and this is gonna be a segue into a different add-on. As awesome as Details is, the threat meter functionality is not great, okay? You can see threat numbers, it will show you threat, but it's not accurate. The problem with threat is that it doesn't show in the logs, so basically what every add-on has to do is estimate it, and yeah, Details is not very good for that. Now, I don't know if they are gonna update this add-on for Season of Discovery, the one I'm gonna mention now. I expect they will, because they constantly update it to this day, but by far, in my experience, the best threat meter is Threat Classic 2. Threat Classic 2 is pretty bare bones, it's very basic, it's just a threat meter, nothing fancy, but this is by far the most precise threat values I have ever seen in an add-on. So yeah, I recommend you, and trust me, I tried them all. Next add-on is gonna be a fundamental add-on. This is weak chorus. Now, if you did any kind of raiding in your life, you know damn well what a weak chorus is. Just in case, weak chorus tells you in your screen when something is going on. It will remind you of things that you are doing or that are going on. The way it works is you can script, you can code whatever thing you want to keep track of. You can keep track of a buff that you need to keep up on you. You can keep track of whenever you get a proc, whenever the boss is gonna do something, whatever you can imagine. If you know how to write it, you can code it into the thing. If you go looking around, pretty much any guide will tell you about a few weak chorus for your class. For example, if you are shaman now, they're gonna have the water shield rune. You know that thing runs out. You can make a weak chorus to tell you, hey, your water shield ran out, bro. You gotta get a new one. You know, that kind of sort of stuff is very, very good. I don't wanna scare you with the whole coding thing. Just keep it simple. Just get like 2 or 3 weak chorus of like your most important class mechanics and you're gonna be fine. I guarantee you everybody needs weak chorus. Even world first raiders we're talking about, they all use weak chorus to keep track of their stuff, okay? So if method needs weak chorus, I guarantee you need them too. Just get it. And I am gonna toss you a bone. I am gonna give you another add-on that is very similar, that is Deadly Boss Mods. It is basically weak chorus for boss mechanics. It will tell you when you gotta move, when you gotta stack up, whatever you think of on a boss mechanic, this thing will tell you. Yeah, get also Deadly Boss Mods is basically more weak chorus. Now I know a lot of people are gonna get lost with level 25 characters because level 25 is gonna take away a lot of the math that we know and is gonna change it. So even though I was already gonna recommend this, I am gonna recommend you more than ever Character Stats Classic. As the name suggests, is a stat tracking add-on. It will tell you how much crit you get on an item, it will tell you what's your dodge chance, whatever. It will give you more advanced stat pages in your character. It's a super complete add-on. If you are lost in how your class is gonna work at level 25, this add-on is really good. And I will also give you an honorable mention, that is Statways Classic. It is basically the same add-on but with a tiny calculator. It is not as complete, but I have both of them in my client. It's really good. Like if you want a theory craft, you get those 2 add-ons on you. Next is Atlas Loot. Atlas Loot is basically an atlas for your loot, haha, who'd have guessed. It just tells you if you search for an item where you get it, it will tell you what dungeons are gonna drop what item. It is just wowhead in your game. It is convenient, it's nice to have it, that's all. Another one nice to have add-on is Lazy Pig. It basically automates every little annoying thing you do. It will automatically sell all the junk in vendors, it will automatically repair to you. There is a bunch of other functionality on it. It is just a convenience add-on, I really like it. And finally, to close it out, I am gonna mention a really cool add-on here. Auctioneer is a complete overhaul of the auction house, but that's barely scratching the surface really. Yes, it has better info on the pages and stuff like that, but the real fascinating thing is that it can completely scan the market for you, so you can see what the fluctuations are gonna be, what prices are going up, what prices are going down, what supply is low. And if you're a market speculator, you know, you wanna make stonks, this is your stonk making add-on. And if you do not want me to get hard data into what happens if I throw a Sturgeon into your window from my car at 3 AM, subscribe and leave a like and join the Discord, and thank you for watching!